For more on the latest developments on the Niger coup, let's bring in our State House correspondent Femi Akande, who is at a border community in Katsina. Femi, let's begin with the announcement by the presidential spokesperson that fresh sanctions have been imposed on Niger by ECOWAS. What details can you give us on that fresh sanctions?
Yes, Precious. Before talking about the details on the fresh sanction, President Bola Tinubu, who is chair of ECOWAS and president of Nigeria, had to set the record straight to let people understand that the sanctions imposed on Niger Republic is not President Bola Tinubu's sanctions, neither is it Nigeria's position on sanctions on Niger Republic. These are sanctions resolutions reached by the authorities of heads of state and government of ECOWAS. This body comprises of 15 West African countries and not President Bola Tinubu's sole decision. You know, and speaking about these fresh sanctions imposed on the Niger Republic after the expiration of that one-week ultimatum given by ECOWAS, within which the military coup leaders were mandated to reinstate the democratically elected government of Mohamed Bazoum or risk further sanctions. These fresh sanctions include further ensuring that the assets of the military coup leaders within ECOWAS region are frozen, and also the Central Bank of Nigeria. You know, Nigeria is the biggest economy in ECOWAS. The Central Bank of Nigeria will now ensure that businesses and individuals associated with these coup plotters in Niger will have their assets frozen moving forward, and they would no longer have access to monies in their bank accounts and other financial instruments that they have as we speak. But you know, President Bola Tinubu, as chair of ECOWAS, is hoping that these new sanctions will further pile pressure on the military coup plotters in Niger Republic. We already hear that the United Nations, the African Union, and indeed ECOWAS is sending a delegation to speak with the coup plotters in Niger Republic. Gradually, ECOWAS is tightening the noose on the military coup plotters, and it appears as if the military coup plotters are also particularly concerned about the next move of ECOWAS.
And let's talk about the first move of ECOWAS, which was the previous sanctions. Femi, what is the level of implementation of the previous sanctions? Whether it's the border closure and the power cut to Niger?
Well, the implementation of the first sanctions has been total. We have seen electricity supply to Nigeria has been cut. We have seen the border closure being enforced at the Congolan border, that is in the May Adua local government area of Katsina State, where I visited, the one you just watched in the report, my earlier report. We have seen the men of the DSS, the civil defense, the soldiers, and indeed the police enforcing that border closure, restricting the movement of people and goods between Niger and Nigeria. This has also taken a toll on people within these border communities, especially those involved in the trans-border trade. A lot of them are out of business. A lot of people in the Niger Republic are also piling pressure on the military junta there to open talks with ECOWAS and indeed the government of Nigeria to see how some of these sanctions can be eased to ensure that their livelihoods are returned, because you know Niger is a poor country. They rely heavily on Nigeria. Nigeria is the biggest trading partner of Niger in Africa. That is after countries like the United States and China. Nigeria contributes about 7.5% of exports to Niger Republic. So they heavily depend on Nigeria for food items and other commodities. And with these sanctions, especially the border closure and the blockade that prevents food items from going to Niger, the toll on the residents and people in the Niger Republic is quite heavy, and pressure is beginning to pile on the military coup plotters in Niger Republic. Precious.
What about the toll? I know you've reported extensively on that, but talk to us. You have said that look for the border communities on the part of Nigeria, that the situation is fast deteriorating. Talk to us, whether in terms of cost of living and just security around that area. Give us an update on how things are looking up.
Well, the cost of living has kind of shot up just with the announcement of the border closure. Yesterday, I reported that a bag of rice within the border community that used to sell for about 35,000 naira now sells for about 54,000 naira in the open market within the border community. You know, it's not just the Nigerian border now that has been shut. The border between Nigeria Republic and Benin Republic have also been shut. You know that the rice they get from the ports in Benin all through Nigeria Republic into Nigeria can no longer pass through. This has caused a spike in the price of these food commodities, basic food commodities like rice. Nigeria Republic depends on Nigeria for grains like maize. Nigeria depends on Nigeria for grains like beans. All of the prices of these commodities have shot up as we speak, are quite high as we speak, and they are even going out of supply. They fear that if this border closure continues for about a week or so, there will be food shortage with not just in the Nigeria Republic, but it will also affect the border communities in
and one
Nigeria. So these are
how bad things could get, Femi. I was just saying, look, one wonders how bad things could get. ECOWAS has a meeting on Thursday. If fresh sanctions are imposed, one wonders how it will be for these border communities. Thank you so much for your reporting and your update, Femi, our correspondent there at the border community between Nigeria and Niger. The Acting Inspector General of Police says security has been beefed up at the land borders to prevent the influx of criminals in the wake of the political impasse in Niger. Kayode Egbetoku explains that the move is part of actions to improve security internally. Stephen Essien reports.
Communities in Niger's border with Nigeria are feeling the pinch following the closure of the borders as part of sanctions meant to force the junta to give up power. It's a similar situation in Nigerian border communities. The freeze, according to experts, would have severe implications on security, especially in Nigeria. At this meeting with senior officers, the Acting Inspector General of Police takes a look at security in the country.
I am pleased to disclose that our crime-fighting initiatives are paying off. Through series of covert and overt operations targeted at smashing criminal gangs terrorizing our communities all over the country, we have successfully dismantled several notorious criminal syndicates involved in organized crime such as armed banditry, insurgency, armed robbery, kidnapping, gun running, cattle rustling, and so on.
The police authorities are also keeping an eye on the situation in Niger.
Police operatives have been put on red alert in conjunction with sister security agencies to ensure that criminal elements do not take advantage of the impasse in Niger coming to the country.
Which are already directed that CP commands and AIGs who are in charge of those states, those border states with neighboring countries, are to work collaboratively with our sister agencies, especially the Customs Service at the border, to ensure that there is no internal security issues with respect to what is happening in our neighbors.
ECOWAS authorities of heads of state and government are billed to meet on Thursday to decide on the next line of action in Niger. Stephen Essien, TVC News, Abuja.